Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I wanted to talk about this idea of masculinity in men being the only way to find So the way people speak about dating men right now is very much like masculine, feminine focused. Ignore her, she's going crazy. She just had a bath. As if only masculine men are valuable. As if masculine men is like the standard, like they shouldn't have any femininity in them or they're gonna be wimps. And I understand, like, I guess the bones of where that's coming from, but I think it's gotten a little bit too far because, like, as somebody who's open to dating bi men who do have some feminine energy, here's some things that I've noticed in regards to that line, that hard line between, is he masculine? Does he put you in your feminine? Is he a provider? Is he this, that, the other? And I'm not saying there's any issue with those things, but I'm saying that obviously if you're looking for this masculine man who puts you in your feminine, you're probably closing yourself off to men who might present in a more feminine way, or like they paint their nails or they're bi or whatever it is. And I think that that is a mistake because I think sometimes these like more alpha male seeming guys can be neglectful, maybe sometimes. Obviously, this is not a generalization. They can neglect certain parts of you that are in your feminine that they don't even understand or have any like knowledge about. Let me give you an example. So I am very particular sometimes, like this little blanket here goes over this couch, and when it like starts to peel out, it bothers me because I have OCD. I don't like when people are over and this thing is falling out. He very quickly picked up on that. I was like, oh, sorry, let me fix that. And he was like, oh yeah, like I know you're particular about that. Let me help you. As opposed to, I've been in so many situations with guys that are like more masculine and they would not accommodate me for their life because they didn't feel like they should have to as a masculine man. Because in a lot of people's minds, to be masculine is to be unmoved and unchanged and stubborn and sturdy and stuck in the mud. And unfortunately, I think that mindset sometimes can cause people to feel justified in neglecting your needs and justified in refusing to accommodate you, especially if we're going to start talking about mental things. I think that a lot of times the more like masculine man really doesn't give a fuck about any of your issues and doesn't feel like he needs to accommodate them. I saw a video the other day and it was like this woman being like, I was having diarrhea and I asked my boyfriend if he could bring me toilet paper. And I don't know if he was like gaming or something or he was like busy, but he was like, no, can't you just like use your hand or something? Her boyfriend, you guys, like, and it's something about and I think it can come from like the toughness of like deal with it. Like this is tough love, whatever. And this can come in a million different ways. Even like, I remember one time I was play fighting with my ex-boyfriend, like, cause I was like thinking about taking up boxing, like allegedly. And I was play fighting and he just started shitting on me for my form being wrong and how awful it was and how I didn't know how to fight. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't know how to fight. I'm not a football player. Like, I don't know how to fight. Do you feel better now because you just like shat on me for throwing a punch incorrectly instead of encouraging me? And I feel like sometimes more feminine men can tap into their feminine to be like, oh yeah, that's a dick move. In a way that sometimes like more masculine men are like, tough love, like deal with it. Or even like when my ex was sleeping over and I'd be like, can you move over? I literally was so sick this one day. Like we had tried to go out for brunch and I couldn't because I was so sick. Like I felt like I couldn't move. This was before I found out I had COVID, but it was COVID when I was this sick. And it was like the first time I ever got it and it was really, really awful. And I remember laying down and he laid down beside me in my bed at my house. And I said, can you move over? Like, I'm kind of cramped over here. And he was like a big guy. Okay. And this is why sometimes I'm like big guys and like tall guys, like as much as it's nice to date someone who's 6'5", they're kind of annoying a lot of times about like their space, because big men think they deserve the whole couch and the whole bed. They don't care if it's yours or not. It's like an ego thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand, like, yeah, I like to date walls, but at a certain point, like, the wall doesn't fit in my bed, especially when they're refusing to accommodate me. You understand? So I asked him to move over, and he was like, no, I can't. Like, I can't move over anymore. And I was like, could you like go on your side or something? Like, I'm about to yak, so I can take up less of my bed if that makes you more comfortable, but then I'm probably just gonna yak on you for good measure, out of spite. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm going with this? A little bit? Just a bit? Yeah. It's fucking annoying. Isn't it? And so this whole like, okay, I think what irks me sometimes, and this is, I don't know if it's my right to say that it irks me, because like, you get to choose how your relationship runs. So I'm not trying to judge other people for this. I think I just don't fully relate, but maybe it's because I haven't had like the right experience with the right person. I don't know. But you know those TikToks that are like, when your man is around, so you turn your brain off? Like, okay, like, yeah, like, that's great. That's great that he's like, you know, gonna lead you through the subway station. Like, that's whatever. And it's good because that means that you trust them. And like, I'm not saying that that's never happened to me. I think it does. I don't think it happens very often. I'll be honest. I don't know if that's because I know too much or I'm too like, whatever, but I'm like, why are we doing it this way? Doesn't it make more sense to do that? Y'all can see why I'm annoying, right? But the thing is, I'll be right though. And I literally remember going to a game with my ex, and just the way he had planned it, he was being like just a bumblefuck, and like his friends were there, and he just was not paying attention to my needs in the moment. And then it was just kind of like and if he had listened to me in the first place and taken like what I was saying seriously about like I needed to go upstairs to get something and whatever, and we needed to get food, like we were a mess. And if he had listened to me or let me in, we all would have been like more satisfied. But we ended up being like very uncomfortable and very like annoyed because he wasn't listening to my needs in that moment, and he decided that we should walk with his friends. Like, he had told me we were going to do one thing, and then he just started walking with his friends. And I was like, hello? Like, am I even like penetrating your bubble at this point? Because you're so focused on like, I guess, your friends right now or whatever it is. Not to say that like you shouldn't focus on your friends when you're around your friends, but like if I'm talking to you and I'm making a good suggestion and you ignore it, and then everything sucks because you ignored my suggestion, I am going to be annoyed. And I feel like, I don't know. I think part of femininity is being a good listener and letting people in and being creative and being thoughtful and curious. And I think a lot of times this like idea of like this grounded masculine leader, like it's not very curious in a way that makes me feel not super safe in conversation and in life and accommodation. And like, I think one of the greatest marks of like how emotionally, I don't know, self-aware almost a guy is his ability to accommodate you and his ability to shift to your needs and like give a shit about them, rather than being like, oh, this is my way, this is how I do things. If you don't like it, well, cry about it. Oh my God, I must be so awful then. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, it's not a big deal. Relax. That's not an issue. Relax. This isn't blah, blah, blah. As opposed to like pivoting and recognizing this person's point of view is valid enough for you to at least entertain the idea of pivoting your actions. And if you are so unmovable and unchanged in like your masculinity that can't happen, like, I don't really think it's valuable. I don't think this masculinity be put in your feminine conversation is as valuable as it could be, or as it should be, or I don't know. And you also see a lot of those women like using it to sell ebooks, and that to me seems like a contradiction. Like, how are you like in your feminine but like running a pyramid scheme or like whatever? I mean, I don't know. Let me not. Do you know what I'm saying though? At the same time, it's like, I don't know. Follow my ebook on how to meet a masculine man and how to stay in your feminine and where to meet rich man. I don't know. Whatever. None of my business. So let me know what you think about this, please. In the comments down below, give me your opinion on these situations. Are you in your feminine right now, girly? Let me know. Okay. Have a good day. Bye.